Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. For those who've never seen me before, my name is Alita, and I come on here and I share prophetic words that the Lord gives me through dreams that He gives me, and I dream very often every single night. So there are a lot of dreams, and today's word is based on a dream that I actually had last year in April, so it's almost a year ago. I think I had it on April 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, April 23rd, 2020. And before I get into the dream, as always, just watch out for scammers. Watch out for people that are, creating fake accounts. It'll say Queen Alita, and they're replying to your comments, asking for donations, prophesying over you, telling you to send information to a WhatsApp number. Please, if you see anything like that, rather email me directly, and don't reply to those. Don't send anything to that number, or just don't get involved. Just know that they're trying to scam you. The second disclaimer is that you've got to be sure in terms of the prophetic word. So not every prophetic word is meant for everyone. So this may be something that resonates in your spirit and you really feel like God is speaking to you. I really encourage you to spend time with Him. It's so important. That is such an important thing. I urge you to put more emphasis on that than listening to prophetic words and listening to all of the stuff that we're saying here. It's not that it's not what God is giving us to say. It is, but He wants relationship with you. He really just wants you to come to Him and to seek Him first. So I encourage you to take it to the Lord. And for some of you, this may be confirmation of something that the Lord has already shared with you. I still encourage you to take it to Him, because He'll give you your strategies, your instructions. He'll tell you more. He'll answer your questions. I cannot answer those questions. I only have a little bit of the story, because I think it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It says that we only prophesy in part and we only know in part. So I do not know the full story. You have to seek God. This is just something for you to bring before Him and build that relationship. So without much more delay, let's get into the dream. Like I said, I had it on April 23rd, 2020. And in this dream, I remember just being in this, it was a large gathering of all my family, like both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side. So there were so many of us there. And I remember we were wearing traditional clothing. And I really felt like an outsider. I know that my sister and I, in the dream, we had somewhere to go. We were actually going to go to a friend in a place called Alexandra, and that is very significant. That name Alexandra is very significant in terms of what it means to this dream. And we just wanted to get to where we needed to be. But there was this whole family gathering thing there, and we were feeling obliged to be there. But I remember just feeling like such an outsider, like I was someone on the outside looking in, and not really feeling like I was part of it. And then at some point, I decided that it was time to go. So as I was leaving, one of my aunts, she didn't look too good. She looked like she could be, I don't want to say sick. She just didn't look at her best. But at some point in the dream, she had a promotion. It's like she had managed the whole event, and because of how well she had put the event together, she was given a promotion to some management role. And I thought, wow, that's actually very interesting and very strange. I just found it strange the way that happened. And then one of my cousins needed a USB that I had, so it was my USB. And I gave it to her, and I was just ready to leave, and another cousin came and they were like, I also need the USB, and someone else came and said, I also need the USB, and I said, go get it from the first cousin I gave. I basically said she has it, so I don't have it anymore. And I left. Well, me and my sister left, and that was the end of the dream. So this dream really had me like, I was like, what is going on in this dream? Like I do with every dream, right? And almost a whole year later, I finally have an interpretation. And that's how God does it. Like, I don't always know what my dreams mean. And I think that's part of the beauty of the journey of having this gift, just knowing that it's not about me having this skill and this technique and being able to just hear people's dreams and I all of a sudden know what it all means. No, you really have to get interpretation from the Lord. Genesis chapter 40, not sure which verse, but somewhere in chapter 40 it talks about how it's God's business. Dream interpretation is God's business. That's what He does. We just have to be in tune with Him and walking with Him and in relationship with Him, and He will give us the information. He will help us to figure it out. It's up to us to seek Him. He wants relationship. That's why He makes dreams so mysterious. So in this particular dream, what I perceived is that, and really God is talking to, like I said, this word is not for everyone, but I get the sense that there are a lot of you that feel obliged to follow certain family traditions and cultural ways of doing things. And I mean, me in that dream, I know that I felt like I was on the outside looking in. And it's almost like I was already detached from all of that. And I'm not saying, guys, please hear me. And I know people can be very sensitive about their traditional things and their cultures and all of that. I'm just saying that God is, He's wanting us to be set apart. I actually should have put that scripture down as well. It just came to me now. I think it's in, is it 1 Peter? Oh man. But anyway, it's in the Bible. And it talks about how we need to be a peculiar people. We need to be set apart. And we set apart for God's own purposes, for His glory, right? So He wants us to be set apart. He wants us to let go of traditional things that are not serving us, things that allow the enemy in, even though they may look like they're serving people. And it's really talking about bloodline, traditional, generational things. That's why I said it's cultural, and in the family line, in the bloodline. But it may seem like it's good. It may seem like it's paying off. You know, this one aunt in the dream who got this promotion because she had planned this event so well, and was, given this management role. It's like they may seem to be blessed because of these traditional things that they do. They may seem to be elevated and promoted in the things that they do, in the various circles that they may be in, whether it's work or whatever. They may seem to really be prospering and doing well, but those things are not of God. My sister and I were on our way. We just eagerly wanted to get to our friend in Alexandra, and I looked up the meaning of the word Alexandra, and it says defender of people, I think. Yes, defender of people. And then immediately in my spirit I heard the word advocate. So He's calling us to be in relationship with Him, to be in relationship with Jesus, to know that we need the advocate, because there are certain traditional and cultural things that we can really tie ourselves to, because this is my culture, this is my tradition, this is who I am. We define ourselves by these things, and God is saying, this is not how I define you. I define you as my son. I define you as my daughter. And you are my son and my daughter because of your advocate, Jesus Christ, because of the advocate who is in the courts of heaven, speaking on your behalf day and night. His blood speaks on your behalf day and night. And therefore, this is where you need to be. This is the relationship that you need to cultivate. This is the culture that you need to take on. Jesus culture. I love that. So, again, this is not to offend people, because I know when it comes to cultural things and people just want to hold on to that, it's their identity and they feel like it's been taken away from them. It's like their heritage. I get it, but I'm just giving you what God has shown me. He showed me that this is not serving any of us in any way by holding on to these traditional things, because a lot of the stuff was founded on satanic rituals. There are certain guys, there are rituals that people do that are part of the culture. part of whatever culture. And it's like, no, this is our culture. But you'll find that the roots of that come from Satanism, or, just demonic influences that come from just dedicating stuff to the gods, to the ancestors, stuff like that. You got to be careful of. So God is basically speaking to those of you who are really attached to your culture, to your earthly culture, to your traditions. Just a part about the USB. A USB is something that stores information, it stores data, and it's almost like God is going to give you an opportunity to pass on what you've learned to someone else. All of that info, all of that data that He's given you in the things of the Spirit, in the things of His kingdom, He's going to give you that opportunity to pass that on. And God is about rebuilding families. He's restoring families in this time, friends. And you are going to be that person that is going to almost be like the pioneer in your family, the one who's going to bring in these things. And as they see you do what you do, and how God is blessing you, and how different that blessing is from the other counterfeit blessing, of the satanic or demonic promotions that seem like they're blessings, but they really aren't. They will see the difference between God's blessing and that counterfeit blessing, and they will follow, and they'll have that information as you pass it on to them, and they will seek it. The other cousins came and they wanted that USB as well, and it's so important that we are grounded and rooted in Christ Jesus, because He's our advocate. He's the one who will defend us from the enemy, who will protect us as we break the curses and close any doors that were open because of traditions and cultural things. James 4 verse 4 says, "You adulterous people, don't you know that friendship with the world means enmity against God?" Friendship with the world means enmity against God. Friendship with your traditional ways, with your cultural ways, those are worldly ways. That means enmity against God. Therefore, anyone who chooses to be a friend of the world becomes an enemy of God. 1 John 2 verse 15 to 16 says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but from the world." And then lastly, Romans 12 verse 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." As long as you're caught up in your traditions and in your cultural things, you will not be able to test and approve what God's will is, because all you see is this counterfeit blessing that never quite fulfills. You never quite get there, but you get a little bit of something, and it appears to be prosperous, it appears to be good, it appears to be a blessing, but it really isn't. So again, this was not to offend. I myself have a very strong cultural traditional background, but for many years now, 7 years now, if I can actually be more specific, God has been showing me how some of the things that I've believed, some of the things that I've held onto, the traditions, are not of Him, and that they're actually just ways the devil just used to try and get his hand into that bloodline, and to keep it there by keeping those doors open, by making it this tradition, and this is our way, and this is what we're proud of. You got to take all of these things to the Lord, because not everything is good just because you were told or taught that it's good. And that's the word for today, friends. God is restoring families. That is a key important thing to remember now in this time. He's restoring families. And that is why He's showing us these things, so that we can be set free. And we are going to be set free. Others around us are going to be set free as we take a step closer to Christ and away from those things. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming through, for watching. And I just pray the word has been a blessing for those who it is meant for. And I thank you so much. You guys are just so supportive, and I thank you for all the love in the comments section. I do come across comments that I think need addressing, but in a good way. Like, people will ask certain things, and it's like, okay, you know what, maybe this is something that needs to be addressed. So I'm thinking maybe that's what I need to do in the live sessions, however often I'll do them. And you know what, maybe I don't need to put like a once a week live or whatever. I'll just come on and when I'm ready to share what needs to be shared. But I think it's a nice platform where we can talk about certain things that come up that people say, you know, but what about this? You know, you said that, but what about this? And we can just, you know, work it all out together. I'm certainly not a guru. I don't know everything. I'm just here to serve as the Lord calls. But that's it. Remember, friends, that God is a good Father. He really is, and He loves you so much, and you are so special to Him.
I'm in a race right to the start. They tried and left me